Last time on Das Funk.
You should probably hold some sort of fake mock thing where I'm punished, but I'm not actually punished. Just to make everyone feel like it's fair. It's not, but
I mean, again,
just letting you know.
I feel like the most important thing is the murderous sheep at the back.
Who's going to be holding this mock thing? There is no Moist Watch, there is no governor.
They can keep the fan, but this is not fair, and I don't like it.
It was Hale's fan. It does feel a little cheeky to be like, it's not fair, I gave you back your thing. You won't let me have something for my thing.
Basil, Kaboom, and Kablam are throwing off the calculations.
Do I need to, leave town? Would that make this not break? Like, how do I not break this? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break it.
You didn't do anything wrong.
If you had given me the governorship, I would have finished by now. You've given me such a short timetable.
Are you suggesting I not exist?
That would be very helpful, yes.
Ozzy then just sort of walks up to Potter and just puts his arms around the big guy and just gives him a hug.
The slime that was at Potter's tells you that Nobi came by here and tried to get Potter to go with him because Nobi was saying that the only way to survive was to come with him to safety and shelter. And Potter was like, nah, bruh, I just want to vibe. And Nobi's like, suit yourself, have fun dying. That's partly the information you get. And also that Nobi was then left to go try to get other people. So you know Nobi is like counter recruiting. But also that Nobi is still out here and it can be found by going to the correct location. I guess is what I want to say here. You have the map with all the locations.
Aze will step forward towards the good neighbors and just sort of say up to them, is it possible to seek entry into the governor's building?
You walk up to the good neighbor closest to you and ask if you can enter, and it's the Marina good neighbor, and it has a bunch of sewing needles on one of its hands, and it just rams them into you. 17.
Ooh.
And crit. Uh-oh.
I was following the pack, all swallowed in their coats, with scars of red tied round their throats that keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white so red as strawberries in the summertime.
How are you all doing, crackers?
Well, shit. I tried saying that earlier, but I got banned off of Twitter by trying to post that, so...
I'm not up to date on the recent politics. Please, I'm scared.
Wait, Mari, who do you want to tell you?
I'm old and out of date. What if I say a boomer thing?
Austin was gonna start this off with this. Do you wanna do this?
I mean, it's just, by the time this episode goes out, everyone will be tired of this discourse, obviously. But cracker is not a slur. You can tell because we're saying it. That's really the main thing.
And because the concept of whiteness was invented by white racists to oppress people of color.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no such thing as being racist to white people.
Look,
it doesn't exist.
if you want to have a term against white people, like, hey, fucking have at it. That is chill as
Right,
what you
one.
like. Yeah, white people fucking suck. But apparently,
Like, my girlfriend doesn't mind when I call her a cis lord.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So Mari, all you need to know, Twitch has been banning people who say the word cracker.
What?
Yeah.
As a half cracker myself, I think that's stupid. What are you talking about? What?
One of the people they banned is white.
Do you want to see a really edgy corporate logo? Look at this sick stuff right here. Can you...
Cracker Barrel, fuck. Oh, gotta cancel that.
Can you believe it's right there in the name?
Wow, they should really change that.
Look, just because I assume
Damn.
mostly white people shop there, you can't call it that.
Who decided that cracker wasn't okay? Was it some asshole being like, I can't say this word, so they can't say
So
cracker?
it is So the two guys who've been banned are both political debate streamers, and a third political debate streamer decided to make it his business this week, when we're recording this, that cracker is an offensive thing to say that you should never ever say, and all his fans are mass reporting people who say cracker.
We're at the end of this story, at the end of this campaign. Everything's getting very dramatic and high stakes, so it's great to have the little controversy to talk about, just to decompress. And just say the word cracker.
I'm going to call Nobi a cracker in this episode.
I'm just glad we can all share this.
You ever start drama with somebody and then just log off the internet?
I do that. That's actually a good
one
sometimes.
of these days I'll tell my good one of those stories, but the drama we should probably deal with today is a boss fight, if I remember right, was standing in front of us. That's something we had to fight, I think.
Thank you, Laura, for saving us from that. So last we left the adventure, the party had gone to the governor's lodge, because you haven't seen Philippa in a while. She went to go check on Governor Gigi, and you're like, what's going on there? They never arrived at the Cosmology Center. And as you arrive, you see 3 good neighbors. Aze approached them, and the Marina good neighbor just impales him on its big clawed hand. It's the big sewing needle claws, and just threw him into a snowbank. And you're all standing there. I don't know how shocked you are, because now you know Nobi is evil, because that has come to light, and you know that Nobi's controlling them. So
This sure confirms that, like, hey, Slime wasn't messing around, Nobi is evil, that's canon now.
Sure. I also think that no one should be surprised, because I think the last time Aze tried approaching a good neighbor and tried to make amends, he got drilled in the fucking head. So, like, just confirming that the good neighbors are operating as normal too, so.
Okay, serious question. The blue good neighbors are part of Mold, but they're aligned with Nobi?
Well, this is a great question, because as Aze lands in the snowbank, remember the sun has gone back away. You were in like a summer bubble, and then you talked to Potter, and so now you're in the middle of a winter storm again. And you're all you see Aze hit the ground, and you all receive the Rary's telepathic bond prompt. Basically, do you accept this call?
Look, I don't know what's the worst. I don't think anything actually bad can happen, so Basil's gonna pick up the call.
I'm gonna pick up the call. What if it's my son?
I suppose so. I mean, Aze is just sort of gathering himself after being just knocked out a little bit there, so...
If you don't trust connecting to the call, I can, patch you in like a conference call. You can be called into me, and I'll be called into them, and I'll, patch it through. Hopefully that'll, stop you getting psychic viruses or whatever.
You said earlier, now at least we know Nobi is evil, and I said before that Kat was kind of not taking that on board yet. I think that now it's fuck. I think that she doesn't accept the call, because she's just whoa, as Keanu Reeves said.
Famously is the quote that will ring through history. Whoa.
Yep.
So everyone else takes the Rary's telepathic bond call, which is just the psychic ability Slime has demonstrated before, and all of you hear Nobi, who is also connected to these good neighbors and is giving them directions. And Nobi says, "So, I guess you know now."
We've been told, but it's nice of you to confirm so that we don't have to have a whole. Was that right? Is it? No, okay, cool.
I ruined your reveal.
Yeah, do you want to admit to a specific itemized list so we know exactly, so that we know we're being angry at you about the right things? Go on, just give us your monologue.
Yeah, we're not very good at implications. And can you say it out loud for Kat?
Yeah, so you can look around. You don't see Nobi around. This can actually talk to someone anywhere on the same plane of existence. So he could be, in southern Fuscany right now, and you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't know, and it wouldn't matter. It's not like the call would get weird. You'd be like, I'm going through a tunnel.
I call out to my familiar.
So your familiar is the dog, Judas, who's with Mold. And what is the range on that? I want to say it's 100 feet or something.
Yeah.
You do not get a connection. Mold is off fighting
Damn it.
Corey. You already knew that.
Is he okay? Yeah, but I'm upset.
Okay.
By himself?
Yeah, that was when you saw Mold has one impaled on each of the horns of the Viking helmet the skeleton is wearing.
So he's doing okay, right?
Mold just it's big swole boy. Yeah, just
Mice and men stuff. Okay.
But Nobi says, it doesn't really matter now. I've already won, so do you want to just get down on your knees and put your hands behind your head and I'll take you in?
Just because you said it doesn't mean it's true. There's no evidence as to that being true.
Did you kill those villagers?
I don't have to tell you that.
Well, I don't have to eat you, but it's gonna happen.
Your lack of a no is really fucking transparent.
It doesn't matter to you. You're just part of the flock. And now you've turned against the good of the village. I don't owe any explanations to you. I don't owe any answers to you. Just turn yourselves in.
The three good neighbors kind of step forward as if they're trying to take you into custody, and you see bubbling between the plates of their armor, the slime. And Mari asked earlier, or I think you might have called them blue slime, but because this dream world is, rapidly making things very strange, you see that the slime mold has taken on a new form. This may be the most disgusting of all slime molds. I'm actually not putting a picture in the Roll20 because it icked me out, but it's called a tapioca slime mold. And from a distance, it just looks like sheep's wool.
I'm just gonna point it out, Austin. You keep taking my children and morphing them into nightmares, and then forcing me to kill them.
I mean, no one has forced you to kill yet. This is one, but that's what D&D do. Hey, you love something. Oh no, it's in danger.
I'm gonna say that's my actual job description. I feel like.
I want to say as soon as Nobi's done the whole, dodging, I don't have to answer to you spiel. Basil has disconnected from the call and is heading over to Cat. You know Nobi better than probably any of us. What do we do?
That question is bigger than it appears at first glance, and all we can do now is what is in front of us. So, let's stop him.
Hell yeah.
For those of you still on the call, Nobi says, "Pussy's on the pavement."
What?
Mm-hmm.
I've not heard
Mari's response is just like, what? Not my wholesome cops.
We have rolled initiative, so the good neighbors start, lumbering towards the party. Basil, you're first up. What do you do?
Basil does not respond to that last bit, but does cast Hold Monster on one of the slime molds. So yeah, pick a creature I can see within range. It must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw. I'm hoping lack of Wisdom.
14.
That's not going to do it. They're going to be paralyzed for up to a minute. At the end of each of its turns, it can make another Wisdom save to be unparalyzed, but one of them's paralyzed for a while.
Yeah, the Marina good neighbor is the closest because it stabbed Aze. And so that one is the one that is grabbed. And it's your turn, Aze.
Aze is going to be apprehensive to attack his own good neighbor, at least to start. So he will activate the starry form as he stands up, creating the manipulator sort of constellation around him. He gets a free attack as a bonus action as a result of that. So we'll just go ahead and just shoot that off at the Hail Good Neighbor real quick. That'll be an 18.
That hits.
For 15 radiant damage.
Nice.
And then he will follow that up with the usage of, I think what he'll do is I will have him use the spell Starry Whip to do a follow-up attack against the hail. Well, that's a crit. Good gosh.
Geez.
So that's going to be this damage twice. That's going to be, that's not great damage on the first roll, and 14. So Aze basically stands up, Stars form across his body, forming the shape of the manipulator, which is the serpent plus hand. Shoots off one shot against the hail, good neighbor, and then his hand gestures about and a starry whip forms on it, slings it out, and tugs on the hail good neighbor, inflicting a total of 37 damage.
Yeah, you start whipping this thing's ass as it. I mean, the flavors, I bet it goes for Basil because Basil's holding the one in place, and then you just unload on it.
Then I am just attacking because that's the thing I can do. So I'm attacking the one that stabbed Ozzy.
Only the 19 hit?
Okay, cool. And 12 damage.
Nice. So you just leap onto the one that's that Basil's holding and just start tearing armor plates off with your powerful jaws. Pretty badass.
I'm sorry, Slime. I held him in place to try and stop him getting hurt. Sorry about this. It was not my plan to make them an easy target. I tried.
Mother, I am exposing the slime for you to eat.
Thank you. Thank you, Cat. You're doing great. Slime is about to freak out.
It's the good neighbor's turn, and yeah, this tapioca slime mold is pouring out of the wounds where Cat's ripping off the plates or where Ozzy's torn them off with the whip. And there's relatively little biomass here, so the expectation is you will destroy the robots so they can't fight anymore, and then slime can slurp up the biomass. But some of you are still in the call with Nobi, who says, "Remember how Slime and Sun, Moon, Stars were one?"
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
These slime molds are mine now, Slime. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very bad.
And these white fluffy tapioca molds look like sheep fluff from a while away. When I looked them up on the internet, I was like, oh god, this is so good because it looks like little floofs, and it's really upsetting. So the one Ozzy was fighting I think that's an interesting duel here because you laid 37 damage down on it, and so I don't know how much more it's going to be able to take, and I want it to be able to try to duel you here. So 14 and 19.
Only the 19 hits.
All right, 13. And so the Hail Good Neighbor has one of those book holder things in one hand, I don't know, like a big bookmark in the other. The genius made these. They're not particularly practical, but it wraps the bookmark around you and slams you into the ground with it, like as if it has its own whip. That's how I'm picturing it now. You have the starry whip, and it has a big fluttery bookmark made out of some strange material, futuristic to you, and you're fighting with these two items. And then the third one, which is Ozzy's. Now that one has gotten a lot of damage in that mold Voya fight, and it's just cracking people with the astrolabe on its arm. And so I think that's going to be Slime. This is Nobi's taunting you when it attacks. 22 and 18. That's all going to hit.
That's how much damage I took?
No, those were attacks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
24 damage as the Ozzy Good Neighbor has this model of a solar system in one hand, and another one is one of those walkie leg things, a sextant. I don't, you know what I'm talking about. They're just astrological tools, and it just starts wailing on you as Nobi says, "They're mine now, Slime. We are one."
Slime molds, do you want to do that? Do you want to be a part of Nobi?
When you talk to the slime molds, you just get the sense you're talking to Nobi. In the same way that you and Sun, Moon, Stars were one person for a while, these slimes have joined Nobi. Mold gave them to Nobi and said, "Listen to Nobi," and so they
they got indoctrinated. Oh no.
Yeah, basically.
They allowed YouTube EWETube to just go autoplay and just sort of drag them into a particular ideology.
God.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm going in. I'm jumping. Oh my god. I'm jumping in. I'm jumping into the hole. And I'm doing vampiric touch, 4th level.
Oh shit.
14.
It does not hit.
So I'm just in there.
Wait, what hole? To be clear.
I jumped into the hole that Cat made.
Yeah, we were ripping off armor.
Okay, and also, Squelcher gets a turn. Do you want to do zombie attack, or should I just roll that?
I'm scared that Squelcher's gonna die too. Yeah, Squelcher can do an attack. Just go in there and start eating.
19!
Okay.
I love Squelcher.
Squelcher's great.
I say, you know that Squelcher's going to be fine because Austin likes him.
Yeah. also, if Squelcher dies, you can just bring him back, probably. You know.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But what if they eat his slime?
So you try to attack with your vampiric touch to like slip between the armor and start sucking out the slime molds, and it, the good neighbor armor holds up to your acidic assault, but you distract that good neighbor enough that Squelcher sneaks up from behind and just begins wailing on some gears and servos, and you see some smoke rising out. It's only 3 damage there, but Squelcher's getting a hand on the ball, and we respect that.
Yeah.
Back to Basil.
Yeah, that was the one that's down in the hole, isn't it?
I don't know. There's no hole. I don't know.
I thought that said something about a hole. Everyone was talking about a hole. I didn't remember a hole, but everyone's talking about a hole.
A hole has appeared in our podcast.
The idea was that Cat ripped open like a panel, and then Slime jumped into the opening in the panel.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
So my Agragor butt's like sticking out, just uselessly.
Basil is once again going to call over to Slime and go, "Look, I've got this one held.
I don't know. There's so many.
I know.
Of my.
Okay. I won't do anything." And Basil is just going to keep holding that one paralyzed one, and isn't going to do anything else this turn.
All right, I guess it's Ozzy's turn. Ozzy, you're still dueling Hale's good neighbor.
I mean, like, as much as he knows that this whole thing's causing distress to Slime, he's also aware that, like, destroying the chassis does not destroy the slime that's within it necessarily. So, the biomass that's within necessarily. So,
I mean, in the HBO version, there's a flash to Voya mocking all of your conflict resolution skills in that cave fight, where every time combat breaks out, half the group goes, "I don't want to fight. No fighting."
Aze also could just hear Nobi just being a little shit and being cut off by Discord in the background, So like that's just so Aze could easily block out Nobi if Discord's going to do it for him. So he's going to lead off with his initial attack with the bonus action. That's a 16. That's 15 radiant damage.
All right, paint me a picture of you dueling the Hale good neighbor and beating it in single combat, 1-on-1.
Like Aze's sort of still manipulating, his orb with the cards floating around it with his one hand. He draws back an arm, and the drawing of the manipulator's form builds out, and then a sort of a constellation outline that sort of emulates the look of a bozog sort of forms as he points directly at the Hail Good Neighbor, and the blast that comes out is almost like in a form of a bozog flying and kicking it right in the chest to knock it flat on its back on the ground. Before Aze peers about and takes an assessment of the rest of the battlefield for the moment.
Oh yeah. Cat is going apeshit on the Marina one, and then the Aze one is only I think been slapped by the little zombie for 3 damage.
Right. So Aze will abstain from attacking the one that's being held and just use his main action to do another Starry Whip to just kind of rip more panels off of the remaining. That's a 26 on the attack roll.
Yeah, that hits.
And that's just 11 piercing damage as the stars that were the little bozog Venta flying kick, the first one, the stars sort of pull back, form a whip, and string out as he rips off a panel off the arm of the remaining good neighbor that Cat's engaged with.
All right, it's Cat's turn.
Cat says to the rest of the crew,
Can Nobi hear me on the call?
I'm sure if someone's still in the call, they can patch your messages through.
Tell him that when I see him, he will know what justice means.
Cat says you're a bitch.
So some of the
Cat
nuance is
says
lost.
you're a cracker. Cat says you're a cracker, and I'm gonna eat you.
Nobi just says, "Stop resisting."
Yeah, of course he does.
We're gonna eat you, Nobi.
Okay, so this is uncommunicated. I was genuinely just thinking one of the next things I was gonna say as Nobi was stop resisting, because of the interview where the former police academy trainer says that like they when they would say a bunch of slurs and yell at people who they're arresting, they are taught to say stop resisting instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about. And I was like, that's what I'll have. If I jump in with Nobi, I'll say that. And then Austin just did it. Great.
Sorry, we're drawing from the same well. It's inevitable.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a cool moment for me. That's all. I wanted to explain it.
There's a limited pool of known shitty things that cops love to say.
I mean, there's an unlimited pool of shitty things cops could do, but on the flip side, they aren't that bright because they're a bunch of class traitor crackers. So let's
Look, there's a limited pool of greatest hits.
I see a 21 and they're all 20.
Yeah, that was my attack. So I'm gonna attack and do 10 damage.
All right, you still have another attack there?
27. Yeah, okay.
Oh my lord.
And 9 more damage.
Paint me that picture of you tearing this good neighbor apart because you have taken down another one.
Oh fuck. I think that it's like as Arze takes down the Marina good neighbor, Cat uses the momentum jumping off of that one onto the Arze good neighbor, and it's basically like, I kind of imagine these as kind of cute, like little kind of top heavy robots, but I don't know if that's inaccurate to, but that's my picture anyway. And I think that Cat kind of slams right in the midriff, like right in the middle of the robot, and it brings it down, and it's just like, in part, it's just the sheer force of it going down so hard, like I think that all the little bits like scatter everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to tip them over, and it just shatters because it's a steampunk robot, and knocking it over is
Right.
just
Little cogs and gears and stuff go everywhere. Yeah. Like.
absolutely. What's a good cop thing to yell to that?
Nobi's pausing on the call to think of a one-liner, and Cat goes, "Officer down."
Absolutely. Fuck, that's so good. So the remaining good neighbor is the Aze one with the astrolabe that hits slime, and it's going to continue to hit slime. 19 and 20.
I'm gonna die. Not joking.
You're not taking 39 damage right now, to be clear.
You take 22 damage.
All right, cool. I have 11 HP left. Cool. It's fine.
That's okay, we can
Oh,
work
it's a
with
bad
that.
feeling.
You can work with that, it's fine. I've got a plan, it's gonna be fine.
This is the final arc. I can't go easy on you now, but I love the image of the egregore, which is this big statue, and then this is the final big robot, and you're like beating the shit out of each other. It's pretty cool.
Well, actually, I'm in the hole with my butt sticking out. But I can get big if you want. I've actually gained quite a bit of biomass, so I actually couldn't get bigger if I wanted.
I think I might have come up with a plan that doesn't involve eating them. Maybe. I don't know how ethical it is, but I think you would be fine with it, Slime. I think I might have an idea.
I will choose to get real big instead of attacking.
To get real big?
Yeah, just look cool. Cause the egregore can get big.
Okay, I'm gonna have Sculpture attack again. 16, so that's gonna hit. I love Sculpture. Go, Sculpture, go.
Minimum
go,
damage.
Sculpture, go.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah!
I imagine that Squelcher fights like Mob from Mob Psycho, like just quietly punching at things very feebly, but he's getting it done.
Yeah, he's doing it. Well, all of his body parts are out of order, so he's getting used to it.
Yeah. No, it's just all these rolls are telling me a very specific picture. He's always hitting, but he's always hitting very softly.
He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit.
Yeah, it's good.
And we're back to Basil.
Basil is gonna try and use modify memory on. If I'm gonna get disadvantage no matter which one I do, I might as well go for the one that is big and stood up, and that's real. Right, they got to make a wisdom save, and they get advantage because I'm fighting them.
Yeah, but wisdom is one of the best stats to focus on.
Yeah,
here.
that's what I'm. Oh, really? Fuck off, Austin.
Oh, that's a 16.
You do this on purpose.
and a
I know
crit.
that you are.
You can't just give me a gimme here because I had a really cool idea or something. Because I had a really fucking cool idea here.
I mean, I really wanted the modified memory on the Frost Giants to work. If I was gonna fudge it, I would have done it then.
Look,
But
I try and curb my morals, and it just never works. Let me fuck around with some brains.
I'm sorry, we are playing the game. People always say like, "Oh, Austin has his plan," but I don't. The dice tell me what happens.
I know, but yeah. Look,
Stunning rhetoric here on Dicebook.
I hope
That's going to be her argument in the trial for Nobi too.
Look, if nothing else, Basil is going to telepathically say to Slime, I might need a minute after we knock him out to get my spells back, but I want to try and give him a memory of being loved.
Oh, that's a good one. I would have brainwashed into thinking that too.
But yeah, you try to modify memory on these slime molds, and Nobi comes over the call and says, "You all are a danger to the people. You're trying to rewire everyone's minds while I'm trying to keep them safe."
You literally murdered 3 people in this village who had done no harm to anyone.
You
do
murdered
not
Neelis 3 times.
Also,
You
I'm
hung up
not in
on
the
the
call,
call.
so I
Basil,
can't
you
hear
hung up
you.
the
I can't hear you being a bitch to me.
You're just yelling that into the wind because you know he's talking shit.
Look, my
Ozzy, it's
you're
your turn.
talking shit senses are going off, but fuck you.
Every 20 seconds or so, just yell some shit, even though you can't hear him.
Your wool's not even that good.
Ozzy's just been listening to Nobi speaking his complete horse shit, and he could waste his time trying to explain the failings of this way of quote protecting people, and how what matters is fostering meaningful connections and having an actual community. But fuck Nobi in Ozzy's mind right now. It's just like, fuck that. Anyways, Ozzy is going to shift his constellation from the manipulator to the cycle and cast out a 3rd level iteration of essence of the cycle, which is the healing spirit. So that's, he's going to center it around near Slime to do healing there. That's going to do a bonus bit of healing on top of the 8 there. That was a not super great initial roll. So the amount of healing that Ozzy does to Slime is 25 with that. And anyone who's kind of tapping into the tree anyone who wants to tap into the tree that sprouts up from by Slime can gain some extra healing from that, as Ozzy will sustain that on the side.
Cat would like to jump on the last good neighbor. Let's do the jumping. It's time for the jumping. One of them is 18, and one of them is 11.
18 hits.
And that attack is... Why do I keep on rolling like this? 8 damage.
All right, so Cat, you switch targets and jump on the last good neighbor, and it is going to turn and attack you because you are a much bigger physical threat to it. 13 and crit.
Oh.
Good thing I got the tree out already.
Yep.
Do those both hit?
Yes. My armor class is actually really low.
Oh, sweet Jeebus. 28. It turns around and the solar system, the model of the orrery on its one hand spins. It rotates around around the sun, and when it swings it at you, the whole thing like a windmill begins spinning, and so it hits you in the face with this spinning cosmological model. It's almost like a drill, and it's just you get hit by Saturn, Mars, Venus, Mercury. You're just getting bam, 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 bam.
I get like mangled between a planet and a moon.
Yeah, Saturn's such a bitch. There's like 15 moons, and they just rip through you. Brutal. Back to Slime and our friend Squelcher. I'm gonna roll for Squelcher while Slime's thinking. 23. Squelcher never misses. He don't miss. SpongeBob meme.
Sculpture is so powerful.
5 more damage. Oh my god, Squelcher's just getting up in that ass.
He's eating ass, dude. Cool.
I seriously picture it as just like punch, 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 but they're just little tiny hits. They're just little they're steady and slow, and they do the job.
Okay, Slime gives the last good neighbor a hug.
Aw.
Is they're big, and the good neighbor's big.
That's pretty cute. So we've been through 3 rounds of combat, which means at this point, enough time has passed that the people inside the governor's lodge have heard the scuffle and have come out. You see Philippa, Governor Gigi, Anne, the Baku, and Kaboom and Kablam, of all people, because Nobi's been going around the village trying to counter-recruit all the people to his side, and has just been massively unsuccessful, just because he doesn't have the connections and the empathy the way you all do to get everyone out of their situations. You learned about this last episode. But Philippa's now on the scene if Sophie wants to do anything there.
What's up, crackers?
Oh boy.
Do you want to do an attack here, or do you want to just watch the fight? Because you see, a good neighbor, and you see, Ozzy has a hole in his chest, and there's 2 destroyed robots.
Yeah, if I see that Ozzy has a hole in his chest, I'm probably interested in helping at least a little bit. I think it's Flame Blade time. Let's do a Flame Blade. My favorite. I think Philippa summons a Flame Blade, and she makes the sounds, as ever. It's an important canonical point. That she leaps into the air and flies towards the robot, and as she does, she summons the fiery sword and goes and then she stabs it into the robot for 8 damage.
Oh man, only 8 damage. I was really hoping that would be the final blow, because that'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Backstab the person during the hug.
Yeah, it was disappointingly small.
No.
Basil is going to. I'm going to be honest. I was assuming that by now the last of the HP would be gone. I'm going to give it one more go. Give me a wisdom save with advantage.
6 and 3. Modify memory.
Oh,
finally.
Okay. So Basil is gonna make the best attempt that they can at working out what's gonna help here, and I think using the fact that Slime is currently giving them a big hug, Basil is going to try and implant a memory of not only Slime, but many of the other villagers showing love and support. And, I want to insert a memory of them being loved.
All right, so the final image is you've destroyed 2 of the good neighbors. Cat knocked one over and it broke its spine. Oze ripped another one to pieces with the whip. And this third one, Sculpture's punching it in the knee. Philippa sticks a blade through its back. Slime hugs it from the front, and then your horn glows and it stops fighting. And so combat's over, but the last thing before the connection cuts off with Nobi says, "All right, so I'm just gonna have to add some time to all of your sentences when I bring you in. So that's resisting arrest, that's destroying public property," and then just gets cut off.
Hang up.
Look, Slime, mate. I'm gonna be honest. From my outside perspective, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of difference between what we're doing, what I've just done, and what you'd have done. You know, for me, it's easier to see you eat your children because it feels like a whole it came from you back to you thing. But I recognize that's not how you feel.
I try to think of it as redistributing their nutrients, but at the end of the day, I would wish they could be themselves, even if they were horrible monsters.
But if it's gonna be the same end result, no matter how we non-violently deal with them, I'm glad that at the very least I could take a little of that pressure off, because it's got to be real fucking traumatic to have to carry that alone when it comes to your kids. I hope that this
Out of RP question, now that Basil has brainwashed them into feeling loved, do I still need to eat them, or can they just hang out?
I mean, you don't need to do anything. That now that the good neighbors are destroyed, these slime mold colonies don't have any real way of posing a threat to anyone.
But do they want to come back to the mother mass, or do they want to be thrown onto a log? Oh, we should ask.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been thinking of slime mold colonies the way they are in nature. They actually come together and separate very frequently depending on the environmental conditions. So I think the one that Basil modified memory would want to rejoin you, and the other two would probably want to just slink off into the woods and eat some dead trees or something, because that's what slime molds do. They're not extremely invested in the political situation here anymore if they've been separated from Nobi, or if they don't fulfill Nobi's purpose and Nobi abandons them.
Basil, you've done me a great kindness in that I don't have to fully destroy the kidnapped and brainwashed and mutilated children who've been mutated beyond recognition in front of me. Some of them will return to me, and some of them will live in the forest.
I really hope you know that lack of working out this might be an option sooner wasn't, for lack of trying, and nobody wanted you to have to go through what you did and what you've been going through, and I understand it's rough, and I understand that it's probably got you feeling a whole mess of ways, but I hope that at the very least it shows that I get that this really sucked for you.
It's upsetting because now that I've absorbed the tapioca child, I can now remember everything. It's very upsetting. I'm going to eat Nobi.
When you absorb the tapioca slime mold and you can remember everything, I want to say specifically that if you were under the impression they were kidnapped in some way, that is presupposition is shattered.
Oops.
Mold said, "Hey, who wants to go control the good neighbors for Nobi?" And some of them said me, and then they were just doing it because they wanted to. They wanted to be a big robot. There was no coercion, really, just some
Why a lot of people get into being police. They don't have much going on in their life, and then they get offered the opportunity to drive a big robot.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm very anti-cop, but if they had big robots, they got big robots.
Everyone should watch Pat Labor. It's a great little movie about detectives who solve Gundam crimes.
This is worse because now Slime was like, oh, they wanted to. This is worse. This is much worse.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's not your fault. None of this is your fault.
Why are you going to eat Nobi?
Yeah, Philippa turns lightsaber out, hearing everybody saying this shit.
Oh yeah, Nobi killed the 3 villagers who was killed. Nobi's fucking evil.
Nobi killed Neelith 3 times.
Wait, what?
Nobi killed her body, and then he destroyed her brain, and then he destroyed her soul.
Oh shit, you know what? That's true.
I mean, that, but also he did also kill the other 2 people who...
Nobody cares about those other 2 people. I don't care.
Philippa, her lightsaber vanishes in a puff of smoke.
Also, you just stabbed my kid, so I could just stab yours. It's fair.
She's looking past Slime and not really hearing anything, and she just sits right down on her butt like a big infant. Like, when an infant falls on their butt? It's like that.
And the Baku floats past this conversation over to Kat and says, "Hey, it seems like you're going through a lot right now. I'm not sure you should be alone."
Oh, thanks. That's very considerate. I guess you are actually kind of nice.
Yeah, sure, that's what it is. Anyway, if you ever need anybody to talk to, I'm in the DMs, you know?
Stop being a fuck girl.
What? Wait. What's up? I don't understand.
Don't worry about it.
Basil's gonna go over and sit next to Philippa and check they're alright.
I think Slime and Philippa would have an interesting conversation, as both their children have turned into monstrosities.
Basil gets up and moves away so this more interesting conversation can happen. Oh yeah, seems like you'd have cooler shit to talk about. Sorry.
This looks like it'd be more narratively fulfilling.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Sorry.
So,
I was just gonna give. Sorry, I blurted that out. I've been a bit desensitized to it the last few minutes. I'll leave you to it.
I mean, she's really non-responsive, I think, to what do you like? Do you offer as in you say, would you like a hug? If you do, then I think she is silent.
Kaboom and Kablam are there. They don't have the chainsaw anymore, but they do have the slingshot. And they say, it sounds like Nobi is strong enough to keep the village safe. That pathetic pastor couldn't do it. I say we've picked the winning horse.
It looks like the person you're trying to hitch your wagon to is little more than a petulant coward who is willing to feign safety out of some deep-seated insecurity. If you wish for a more sustainable future, I can offer you something with a bit more meaning to it than just mere theatrics, as Ozzy gestures to the good neighbors that have been more or less disassembled.
Yeah, why don't you roll intimidation to drive that point home? Because I think they will submit to whoever they think is the strongest, because that's how some people are.
Ah, shit. Well, that's unfortunately not a great roll. It's only an 8, and even if Ozzy taps it to a saving face, that can only be raised up to a 13.
Cat would like to intimidate.
It's
It's my best skill, please.
Ozzy's not very intimidating.
It's like head and shoulders above all my other skills, because I'm a lion.
Cat should get a bonus because Cat ate them so many times too.
Yeah, I think cats should get disadvantaged because they fucking hate you.
No, but they also fear Cat and they scared of like power.
I think it's like the Gruffalo. I think that Ozzy tries to be intimidating and it's really not. But behind him, Cat walks up silently and like bares all of her teeth.
All right, you rolled a 27 there, and so with an 8 and a 27, the group does pass because half the people who tried succeeded. But here's what I want to say, is that we do get maybe the final wild magic surge of the season as Ozzy, you get bonked in the head once again by a rock from the slingshot.
Bring it on, I love it.
88, that is, you cast fly on a random creature within 60 feet of you, so you get hit in the face and you start floating away. And as you like lift up out of
oh my god, not this again. Basil quickly uses the magic hand to grab onto Arze.
Yeah, like a runaway balloon. Though this is great because Arze's like,
Yeah,
look at
like old times.
Arze's like, yeah, look what I did to these robots. They're unimpressed. They shoot you in the face. You start floating out of frame, up out of the scene, and behind you is just all of Cat's teeth. And they're like, we're just gonna keep this to ourselves, actually.
Basil's just like, good thing I didn't sit down for a conversation with Philippa, otherwise I wouldn't be here to grab you. I hope that good conversation's over there somewhere.
You are ever a grounding force around me, Basil, and that is most comforting.
Philippa, are you done dissociating yet? I'm gonna rub cold snow on your face.
Oh my god.
Throw snow in your face.
As soon as you start picking up slow, I think Governor Gigi walks over there and says, I don't think we should do that. Please. It just starts trying to like grab your hands and like stop you from doing that in a good natured way.
All right, I'm gonna sit next to you and talk. So you found out one of your children is evil, and now you have to eat them. It's hard. But
a lot of that going around.
So there's a lot of that going around these days. I've had to consume several children lately. But the important thing is not to define yourself by the failings of your children. You have to eat them and regain the nutrition so you can work further later and make a new child. Or you don't even have to be a mother. You can go back to school. The important thing is that we eat them.
What?
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
I.
Don't define your life by Nobi's failures. He went out into the world and made his own choices. And now because of them, he does need to be eaten. But it's okay. You're going to be okay.
I am going to have a walk.
And I think she gets up and, like, yeah, not very gracefully. She gets herself back up again, and she starts walking off towards, like, the perimeter of the, like, you know, outside of the town, basically. Like, just like, there's a lot that's still going on with how crazy it is in town and the dreamscape and the chaos, basically. And she just starts walking in the opposite direction, just away.
Yeah, the whole town is visually becoming like End of Evangelion or something.
Right.
Everything is becoming extremely difficult to parse visually.
Right.
And as you start like walking away, Governor Gigi says, "Not to be indelicate, but don't we need all the villagers?" I feel like Anne was saying something about, wasn't it the Tulpas? And Anne just cuts Governor Gigi off and says, "Yeah, there's people trying to do a thing with Voya and a spell." Oh, there she goes. Bye, Philippa.
Yeah, she's just walking. Yeah, no, it's not.
Everyone's
like,
got to be friends and feel part of the town and stuff.
Slime runs after Philippa. Philippa, I know that you need to run away from all your problems right now, but if you do, everyone will die. So try and put your feelings into your feeling sack.
Slime, not everyone has a feeling sack.
Oh, always forget.
I just need to go for a walk right now, and I'll come back as soon as I can.
Okay, if you don't come back, we will all die. instead of just eating. So, just putting that out there. Don't define, it's okay. But you only have a few years left, so don't waste them grieving. Goodbye.
Oh my god. Egregore checkup. I assume, Philippa, you're not on the Egregore?
no.
Because fuck this place, fuck this village, fuck these people.
I think she takes off. Like, physically, she's a bird. I think she flies away.
Yeah, so right now, the players, you have a map of the village, you know the stakes, you know what the victory conditions are. What are you going to do? We should just real quick, to recap, either everyone needs to be on the Egregore, or Voya needs to do her ritual. So, last episode, it was explicitly said that Voya, to do the ritual, because Voya lost so much time by being killed, the people who were created by the genius's monolith need to be sacrificed.
I mean, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
So, currently the people missing from the Egregore are Philippa.
Mm-hmm.
Are Kaboom and Kablam on there?
With that, so that's why I had that intimidation roll. Is that if you do show that you're like the person who's strong enough to protect everyone, it's not because they have like a selfless love for the village, but yeah, they will be cowed by authority. And some people have authoritarian personality types. They're bootlickers.
Okay. So if we were gonna go with getting everyone on the Egregore, we would have to wait for Philippa to come back. And Nobi is not on the Egregore, and therefore would need dealing with in some way that either gets them on the Egregore or gets them so they're no longer alive and not on the Egregore.
I think irrespective of whichever plan we're dealing with, Nobi is a problem because Nobi is going to be actively working against Voya and isn't on the Egregore.
Best I can work out is right now all we've got left to do is see if we can find Nobi and work out what we're going to do there, and then wait for Philippa to come back, and then we're done, right?
That should be the case. The village as a whole being unified in their strength for each other should be enough to push back the Dreaming Dark, as far as I know.
Cool. Well, as far as I'm aware, there's no better plan. So we get on that, I guess.
Governor Gigi and Kaboom and Kablam say, do you want us to go to the Voyas? And presumably you say yes, and they'll start trudging in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where do you all want to go? There's no wrong answer. You have a map. I know where everything is.
All right. So my thought about where could Nobi be, one thought would be at the Moist Watch HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're the only member of it left effectively, or the only person that would even treat it like that.
If you'll recall, one of the very earliest Philippa edicts, I think Potter was the one who suggested this, was that Moist Watch HQ be moved to the Dogberry. So that building that we were in episode 1 still exists, but we've never been back there, and it's no longer being used for that purpose. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that is the state.
I still support the logic, so maybe we should go to the Dogberry.
The other suggestion I have, and this feels like a bit left out of field, but I have to say it because it's stuck in my head, is the city, what was it, the Baku city down underground, where Nobi touched a statue and was on fire for a bit.
Oh, the yokai village, yeah.
I would change my vote to that, to be honest. I think that's a compelling possibility.
I don't know why my gut is saying there, but it feels like it's far enough away from the village to not be stumbled upon accidentally by someone not going there deliberately, while close enough to be in I'm puppeting things range.
Yeah, I will say that the party already went to Ventas, and you saw the Tarn had been turned to water. Now, presumably, it's gone back to ice because Potter's tulpa's been dispelled. But regardless, you wouldn't be able to gain access without a yokai. I mean, Anne could let you in, but you realized Nobi wouldn't have been able to get in without Anne.
Okay.
Oh.
You're correct. It was just stuck in my head and I had to say it. Let me look at the map. Where's the map? I need to find the map.
Yeah, it's like barring a yokai or a blood ritual, which we can't do without Very. All right, there's the map for you.
Shout out to Slime King Mike, literally saving the party from dying in the final arc.
Yep.
All right, yeah, I guess then the suggestion we have is the Dogberry. Should we see what's there?
Well, we've been at the Dogberry already. Well, no.
Oh.
I think we...
Yep, last episode.
Yeah. So we got the original Moist Watch HQ, which might be abandoned. Other places we have not been to. We have not been to the clinic. We have not been to the church.
I've just had a thought, which is either the church or the old therapy office. Ruth's clinic are both places that Nobi know are not in use, and my gut says Ruth's clinic, the place where Nobi started the whole murder plan. Feels like the kind of place of significance of fucking psychopathic. It seems like the kind of place that a very full of themselves murderous cop would, go hang out at the scene of their first murder. Right?
I'm fine with either the Ruth's clinic or the church. Either one I think is a valid choice. So
I'm gonna push for Ruth's clinic.
Right. Let's do it.
All right. Is everybody rolled hit dice? Or no, you have the Spirit of Healing. All right.
Yep.
So the party leaves the Governor's Lodge. Philippa has walked off into the storm, and the rest of the NPCs have gone to the Center of Cosmology to learn from Voya what they need to do to complete the ritual. You start walking over to Ruth's. You see in the distance the Carmack. It is basically a whale's skin, tanned and leathered and put over a structure. So it's like a big tent almost. And as you walk closer, the storm, the wind is howling, the snow is coming down. It's kind of hard to see, and you see the flapping in the wind. And this is your last opportunity to say or do anything before I reveal what's inside.
I think the only thing that Basil will say is they'll say to Slime, "You're not the only one who's going to have very strong feelings about what justice means here, and
Do you want to eat him too?
look, no, just give me a sec. Just because you really want this form of justice personally doesn't mean that, there's not other people who are going to be left feeling really that they didn't get justice.
Sometimes I think that because I'm so different, people hold me to a different standard, and the things I want are not as important.
I promise you I am not holding you to a different standard. I am holding you to the same standard I would anyone else. The reason I am repeating this at you more is because you have a real desire to just do what you want and to not... You get an idea in your head and you don't want to hear anything else.
True.
I'm only saying, maybe just stop for a few seconds.
I quite often sacrifice my own morals for reasons I don't understand for this community, and sometimes I'd like it if they try to understand me instead.
I brainwashed one of the slime kids because I trusted that it was right for you. I am trying to understand you. I'm trying to do it.
I will refrain from eating Nobi until we all choose to eat Nobi. How about that?
If we all choose to eat Nobi, I will 100%, support whatever has been chosen, but I just want it. If there's other people that have other suggestions that, I want to be able to hear them out before you've, just decided, yep, this is how we're dealing with everyone's grief is, you get to eat Nobi.
I will do my best not to act completely on impulse.
And I will do my best to support you even if I might not always understand it.
You are now promoted to I kind of like you.
Oh, hell yeah! Fuck yeah! at least Basil's gonna die with, one I kind of like you under their belt when this, we open the tent and everything goes to shit.
Slime has a whole speech. Don't worry, it'll make sense later.
Oh, don't worry, I'm good. So yeah, Basil's ready. Let's open this tent and see there's nothing in there.
Cat goes through the flap.
You push through the flap after that conversation ends, and you see a dimly lit therapist office. There's a candle or two in here. The darkness from the storm would make it hard to see in here otherwise. There are papers scattered everywhere. It's the ghost of the murder scene. I mean, it wasn't cleaned up that thoroughly. There's probably still blood stains on the various objects in here. But your attention is immediately grabbed by Nobi, who is standing at the far end of the room. Standing because they're a sheep. They'd be sitting if they were a human, because they are looking through some books. And floating behind Nobi is the Sukora, the kind of quarry that we've known he's had for a long time. It is a long, serpent-like creature with giant lobster claws. You have chosen correctly of the places to go.
Yay! I had thought.
People have been asking how many episodes are left, for a while, and it's I don't know where they're going to go. They could go to things in any order. There's 16 different locations. Who knows?
Imagine if there was a whole episode of us just going to empty locations. While Austin gets progressively madder.
I not for the podcast, that'd probably be bad timing, but for the HBO adaptation, I could see the sort of supercut of the group opening doors at each location going, aha, got you, Nobi, and there's just no one there.
Your nemesis is in another location.
I also picture an episode that it needs to be made for padding because the show got approved for one too many episodes. Where it's just the party trying to open a door at one of the locations, and then in the last minute, Slime just once again quips, I'll just use knock and just open it after, just not paying attention the entire time.
This is our equivalent of the beach episode, is the opening door.
The locked door episode.
Yeah, they've been talking about bringing that D&D cartoon back. There should be an episode just centered around a single door. But you walk in and you see Nobi, whose floof has died in such a way as they resemble a shiny Dubwool, the Pokemon.
Oh hell yeah! Sorry, I like shiny Dubwool. This sheep's an asshole, but shiny Dubwool's cool.
And him and the Sukora appear to be reading through Ruth's journals and books and so forth. Just the thing you all discussed doing many times. Nobi is just doing now. And when you enter, Nobi says, "Have you come to turn yourself in?"
I've come to teach you what justice is.
I've come to eat you, maybe. If everyone agrees.
I've come to ask you one question. Is there any world in which you come in peacefully?
Nobi says, "The Dreaming Dark whispers to me. It tells me I can save the village if I kill you, Basil."
What village is there left to save if you kill every Ruth, every Neelith, everyone who just stands in your way? Who is there left for you to save?
Yeah, but wouldn't Nobi already know they're wrong and they're just lying to say things?
Nobi is correct. If Nobi kills Basil, he could save the village in his own way. But also, yeah, what is saving a village when you've killed half the people? The Sukora picks up a party hat, a conical, little cheap-looking plastic party hat, and puts it on top of Nobi's head and like strings it under his chin for reasons that have absolutely no purchase in your mind.
I mean, I think we could all look at that and go, that's a very weird thing to do before what's probably a fight to the death. That's a bit suspicious.
What Nobi says back to Basil is,
All that matters is that order is maintained.
All right, I'm gonna roll initiative. We don't have to start the fight right now, but I want to get these numbers on the board. Nobi rolls an 18. Oh, I love stats.
9.
Ozzy rolls an 11.
7.
18.
Oh, we both got 18.
I had a higher modifier. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
So here's what I'll say. Basil, you can go first if you narratively attack first. If we continue talking, if we continue talking, Nobi is going to attack at some point. So it's up to you if you want to actually, do it. If you want to do
Okay. So I have the opportunity to, as long as I say it before you do, start the fight with Basil. As long as I'm the one to interrupt the conversation, we can start. We start on Basil. If you interrupt it, we start on you.
We're doing an Old West, high noon duel. Yeah, we both have our hands near our guns, waiting for the other.
While a conversation occurs, cool. Right. I'll leave it for a second while I look through my spell list.
Aze will quip lightly. It's like, a void of nothingness is indeed highly ordered, but is also devoid of anything worth living for and worth living through.
Once the Dreaming Dark works for me, Grendel will be the safest village in all the world.
Technically, no one can get hurt if they're all dead. He does have a point.
Being trapped in a place with someone who is controlling and murderous doesn't seem the safest place to me.
A lot more people would have died if Neelith's weak justice would have continued. Some army would have rolled in and taken everything.
And that's your decision you just get to make. You get to go, this loving, caring, trying so hard to help people person just gets to get murdered because you've decided, hypothetically, you think that, that might cause problems. And that you get to just choose that.
Yes, I was invested with the power of the Moist Watch by the governor. I have a monopoly on violence.
They were people. They were not just pawns for you to play with. They are people. They are lives that you ended. Basil. Basil wants to cast Hold Monster.
All right, we're in it now. Basil, you're up first.
We're in it now. It's happening. It's happening. Give me a wisdom save.
All right, and that is with advantage because we're fighting.
Just a sec. Is it?
I
with
think
advantage?
I think modified memory has the one with advantage, but I don't know if hold monster does.
Yeah. No.
So that's an 11. I fail, but I'm going to use my legendary resistance 3 times per fight. If I fail, I can choose to succeed, and so I do.
That's good. I burned one of them right at the start of the fight. That's a good start.
So your horn glows with magic, and the Sukora whips around to defend Nobi, and like just slashes the magic out of the air with its giant claws. It is pulled up to its like full height now. It like nearly touches the ceiling if it extends its body. In this tent, and there's paper everywhere. There's the blood stains everywhere. The showdown is happening where the murders happened. It's very cinematic, and now it's Nobi's turn.
I fully expect Nobi's gonna go for me, and that's fine. I'm ready for this. I'm here. I'm ready.
As a result, the Sakura like pulls us up to its full height, like I said, and you see all the kind of eyes which are stuck into its torso begin glowing. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw against the spell Fear.
So I got a 20. But also, just as a side note, I'm immune to the condition Fear, so, like, bad roll wouldn't have really hurt.
Okay, yeah, Nobi doesn't know that, so...
Yeah, I cannot be frightened. I'm a big strong unicorn. Rrr.
That's my kiddo right there. Yeah.
That's fine. Basil still doesn't know that, so, feel free to keep casting it on me. It's cool.
Nobi's going to run forward and charge into Aze, because fuck Aze. All Nobi's homies hate Aze. 18 and 11.
Fuck you, only one hits. Sorry.
Got a little
Fuck
Mari
Nobi,
there.
only one hits. Yeah.
Oh my lord, only 4 damage. Not the most powerful. Yeah, I mean, Nobi is still just a sheep. Like, he is invested with some supernatural power, but that is the kind of rolls he physically does with his head and horns. And it's Aze's turn.
You think that you did what you did in order to protect Grendel. You did it to protect yourself, Nobi. Your cowardice drove you to do what you did, not your sense of justice. And it's your cowardice that will be your undoing. Aze will activate the Starry Form to regain Manipulator, do a bonus action attack against Nobi. So that will be 13 against armor class. Does that hit?
It does not.
That's okay. As his standard action, Aze will use a first level spell slot to just slap Manipulator's Mark against Nobi. That's a crit.
Oh no.
So Aze does that. I gotta roll that again. Aze does 25 damage, and so basically it's like the form of Venta, the starry outline of Venta flies out to kick at Nobi, misses, plants, and then kicks him in the butt really hard, causing the outline of Venta to scatter into stars, which fall upon Nobi's blackened form to highlight him in the darkness and make the target very obvious, giving the next person to attack Nobi advantage on the attack roll.
Oh my god, your skills are insane.
At the end of your turn, Aze, legendary action to use Possession. Make a Charisma save, DC 14, or the quarries are going to take your body.
Ooh, that is unfortunately a 5 on the Charisma save.
Ooh, all right. So I don't think anybody else notices right away, but you do that attack. You start whipping Nobi around the room, and suddenly a small whirlwind of red glowing eyes begin at your feet and then going up your body, and you suddenly go rigid in a way where you've lost control. And you can still see out your own eyes, and you see what's going on, but you can't call out to anyone as quarries from the Dreaming Dark are coming to aid Nobi. This isn't actually Nobi's Sukora who takes your body. It's another quarry who has entered the tent. And we're at Cat.
Sick. Cat leaps across the room, pouncing on Nobi. The advantage that that she would get, is that on both attacks or is that just on the first attack?
Yeah, it says the next attack, but
Making 2 attacks, 16 and 19.
both hit.
Okay. And so the first one is for... Why didn't that go through? The first one is for 11 damage. And the second one is for 13 damage.
Nice. So you start, plunging your claws into Nobi's floof, and you're hitting flesh, and like he starts bleeding, but it feels like you're pushing through some force. And there's like, even though you're inside this tent, there's this screaming of the wind. It seems to like somehow be penetrating into the Carmack, and you get this feeling like there's things all around you, desperately pressing as if to like push through to fight you. And papers start flying around, and you get the sense Nobi's getting some supernatural assistance in here.
Because Basil asked Slime so nicely not to eat Nobi, they're not going to use Vampiric Embrace, or at least try not to. They might. Slime says, "Do you remember when we were going to take your voice away, Nobi? Don't answer that. Your voice is stupid." And then she stood up for you, and she put herself on the line to protect your voice. Do you? Don't answer. I don't want to hear it. And then you killed her. And then Slime opens up their giant Agrigor skull mouth of William, and out comes Blight level 5.
Oh, shit. All right. That's a con save, yeah?
If you roll well, I'm coming to your house. Yes.
11. I'm actually gonna choose. I'm gonna burn my second legendary resistance. Blight does too much. I need to save against that.
That's cool. You've burned the second of their 3.
I believe it still does
gimmies.
damage though. So
Oh, it does?
yeah, it just
How
does half
much?
damage. It just roll the damage as you would normally. It just does half that. So
It's not as satisfying.
it's guaranteed damage at least, though. I mean, that's the thing. You burned a legendary resistance, and you still get to do damage. So it's kind of a
True.
win-win.
35, so half of 35.
17 damage, and Squelcher 19. Squelcher hits.
Squelcher!
Hell yeah!
Squelcher has yet to miss.
Can we have like one of those like play of the game things at the end of the season with a bit like Squelcher, MVP, most hit consistency.
100% hit rate.
The zombie who will not take an L. It's only 6 damage. He never hits for very much, but gosh, he's just so charming. At the end of the order, I'm going to do another legendary action. The possession takes 2 of the 3 slots. The third is going to be Quarry Claws on... Cat, you're attacking, so nobody wants to get you the fuck off. 24, that hits.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Only 8 damage, but now you need to make a strength check. Strength saving throw, DC 14 to avoid being grappled as the quarry grabs you in its giant claws.
Come on, strong cat.
26.
Holy shit. Yeah. So the quarry tries to grab you and pull you away from Nobi as you're just savaging him. You're ripping him to shreds, and you just pull away. It's
Yeah.
it's a
I just
mauling.
shrug. I'm like, no.
Oh, this big strong baby.
Yep, and we're back to Basil.
Okay, so 2 of the 3 legendary resistances have been used now, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Basil's gonna take a leaf out of Slime's book and cast Blight at level 4.
Oh.
Because, again, it'd be really nice to take one of those resistances out and do some damage, huh?
I botched. So I had to...
Oh, okay, well, let me roll that 8d8 and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely burning my third.
Yeah, I thought you might. 27?
All right, 13 damage. All of you see the blight is like really taking over Nobi, like making him look very fatigued. And you're like, oh, we got his ass. Good thing that birthday hat doesn't do anything.
Those are the words I'm thinking. Yeah, that's the exact words that I think.
I want the hat.
It's Nobi's turn. Nobi's gonna try to fight you face to face. Kat, this is an interesting because it's the dream team is fighting face to face. 22.
The nightmare team.
The nightmare
that
team.
hits.
14.
Like, this is 100% like the big dramatic animated shot that would be like the this would be the inside cover of the DVD box set. This moment.
Yeah. Maybe lightning strikes in the background right when this happens.
Like, I'm picturing the Naruto Sasuke fight from the beginning of Naruto, where it's like way more expensively animated than anything else that show had done at the time. Like, that's what I'm picturing.
You've betrayed the dream team. 15 damage. Nobi hits you square in the snout with his fucking skull. Just a kind of sheep headbutt square on the snout.
I fucking hate this cracker.
Oh my god. So yep, that's that fight. Basil, you drew first, so the quarry turns because Nobi's holding his own against Cat and is going to try to slash you up with the pincers. You know what time it is. Here we go. 23 and 19.
That's gonna hit.
There we go.
They're both gonna hit. How much damage am I taking?
23, and we need a strength saving throw to avoid being grappled as the quarry tries to pick you up.
17?
All right, yeah. How do you bust out? So the quarry turns, tries to, slashes you a couple times and tries to pick you up. What do? You just, kick out like a big horse?
I mean, look, Basil's been trying to avoid the horse connotations, but I think it's got to be the big kick. And, Basil's getting really into this fight. Maybe there's a whinny. There's a little bit. Oh god, what did I do? What did I do there? But there was a little bit of a whinny.
Now it's Ozzy's turn. Ozzy, you cannot control your body. Please roll your most vicious attacks against Basil as the quarry forces you to attack your child.
Ah, fuck. Remember, your most vicious attack is a light slap unarmed.
I'm trusting Skitch rather than just pulling up the sheet and doing it myself because we're all friends here.
Yeah, so what happens is, because he has a manipulator still up, the first step is
Ozzy pulls out his gun.
is the bonus action manipulator attack. That's a 19, which will hit for 16 radiant damage against Basil.
I'll take 16.
All right.
Yep.
And then the subsequent attack is Lunar Interjection cast at 5th level.
15. I don't save.
You do not save.
Right.
You do not save. And I'm going to point out, this was a 5d10 damage roll. So the maximum damage I could have rolled is 50.
Ooh.
I rolled 15 as a pillar of light just pierces through the tarn, the entire thing, striking right on Basil, which illuminates the space and allows everyone to see Aze more clearly, eyes glazed in a haze of red as he sort of, his face blank as the hand lifts and makes the attack against Basil.
Yeah, so Basil, you take all that damage. Two things. One, I want to get reactions from everybody as Ozzy unloads on Basil. The other is Lunar Interjection, specifically a column that comes down from the sky, pierces through the Carmack and rips open a hole in it, and now the storm is blasting through and tearing apart the inside of this tent. So now the elements are really in here, and it seems like the entire covering is going to come apart from that hole that you've blasted in there. So what do you all do or say when you see this?
Dad, I don't know what's going on in there, but I'm gonna get you out. You are gonna be fine.
Charisma save 14 to escape Ozzy.
So this is a 12. However, saving face once per short rest. If you miss with an attack or fail an ability check or saving throw, you gain a bonus equal to the number of allies you can see within 30 feet. Yay! It does not require an action, so it doesn't even require a reaction to impose, which will mean that I get, this would give me +3, which would give me a 15. Would that be enough to save?
I like to imagine this is part of the movie where he uses the power of friendship, because he can see.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we're all like giving him the thumbs up in slow motion.
Is that what? So there's all these little red eyes floating around him in like a whirlwind around his body, and you all turn and give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
And it's like 80s rock music. Like, it's the eye of the tiger.
Inside his mind palace, Aze figures out how to not be depressed anymore, and then we're all going, congratulations, congratulations.
He's though there's tears streaming from his eyes, but they're not of sadness. They are just of resolve. He's just like, it's like
Nice.
all right. So it's just like there's a look he's giving to Cat and Basil, and Slime's just like, okay, let's go fuck him up.
Squelcher too. Does Squelcher count?
Squelcher does count.
All right, that's a 16. Fuck yeah.
So the storm is tearing through the hole that you just put in the Carmack, and as it throws all the books and papers around, the dreaming dark is coming through, and the visual deformation, the visual noise that's happening is like basically blasting the color out of all of you. Like the fight has gone from a deep dream kind of meme to like a penciled black and white. Like we're really leaning into the last 2 episodes of Eva stuff. It's like all of you are like becoming undone.
Sick.
So we're in a 50s movie.
And it's now Kat's turn. Kat, you and Nobi are trying to tear each other apart.
And the thing about the storm is that it reminds Kat of her barbarian rage ability, because she is storm aura barbarian, and yeah, she enters a rage. She now has advantage on strength checks and saving throws, a +3 melee damage with strength weapons, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage, and it's time to fuck him up. Let's go.
Let's go.
So 20 and 30.
Crit!
The second one was a crit.
Oh no. All right, roll that damage. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
So this damage is +3s.
You're gonna kill this sheep before I have a chance to steal the hat. I want to steal the hat.
As an aside, Sophie, I'm going to remind you, you actually get bonus dice when you crit as a barbarian too.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. Brutal critical. You get roll 1 additional weapon die for the extra damage for a critical hit with a melee attack. So.
Okay, I'm going to roll the first one. This is +5 because it's +3 for rage, +2 for the gloves, and then we'll sort out the second one because it sounds more complicated. Okay. 16 damage at first, and that's, I think, Kat just pouncing back onto Nobi. And then the second thing, so you said 1 extra die, so it's 2d6 +4, so it would be 3d6 +4, but then plus the bonus. Wait, what is it for the crit?
It would be 5d6 plus...
Holy fuck.
5d6 plus 9 would be the damage for the crit, including your bonus damage.
21.
All right, so you're mauling Nobi. Nobi headbutts you square in the nose with like his very thick skull. This is like how sheep actually fight. And you counter, bite into his neck, and then slam your claws into his chest.
Yeah.
And what would otherwise be a lethal move. Do you say anything? Like if you feel your claws enter his heart?
As I pin Nobi, I look down at him and say,
Tell me, what should happen to those who do wrong, Nobi?
Whatever I want! And the party hat explodes. Everyone, dexterity saving throw as you are thrown back by a wave of force.
10.
8.
That's probably not saving.
18 for Aze.
13.
6.
Only Aze saves, so you don't take any damage. Everyone else takes 18 as the wave of magic blasts out from the party hat, pushing everyone to the edge of the Carmack as the rest of the tarp is blown away in the storm, ripped to pieces by the wave. And Nobi is...
Fucking hell.
Nobi is wreathed in magic, like floating off the ground. His wounds heal. The blood sucks back into his chest and his neck wound. And then you see the quarry begin... it's writhing, or its body is like as if some unseen puppeteer is being overwhelmed by magic and force or something. Its body is like racked, and then you see something very strange happen to it. The armor that covers most of its body begins creeping up over the eyes on the quarry until it has no fleshy weak points. It's only armor on the snake part, and 2 more lobster claws burst out of its side.
Ugh.
Sick.
And I have put a picture of this into the Roll20. This is a kind of quarry called a Dream Master.
It's sick.
What if a snake had no face but biceps and 4 big black lobster claws?
Yeah, what?
And a clit hood, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like really like they work out.
They are really buff.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of buff and cool looking, but it also looks like a bitch. So it's just just take it out.
Yeah, it'll be easy.
Easy
That's
peasy.
what you need to know, audience.
Its body is kind of a gradient from red to black, so
Yeah.
it's very metal looking. It 4 buff arms that lead to these really sharp looking claws. This is its quarry name Usvapna is hard to say, so everyone calls it a Dream Master.
Wait, I've got it. It's if H.R. Geiger designed Machamp.
That's a very good.
I was simply gonna say if a goth snake decided I'm gonna be goth, I'm gonna be a jock now.
A goth jock.
But I think you
Goth
got it better than I
jock.
did that.
Yeah, I like that.
Goth jock snake.
Yeah, health goths are a real thing. So this is the much more powerful kind of quarry, and Nobi seems to be full health again, and like fortified by powerful magic. He's like floating off the ground, and these red eyes that took over Ozzy are all being blown around by the storm now. All around you, as you know, the whole office is just fucking destroyed by the Dreaming Dark and the storm, and you are now in this perpetual whiteout filled with glowing red eyes.
Why do we have to punish those who do wrong, Nobi?
Otherwise, no one learns.
I mean, you were given a chance to learn. I'm assuming you just said fuck that.
And I did learn, and I became more powerful. Ruth taught me abilities to cultivate my thoughts, and soon I will control all the quarry. Do you make that noise in character?
Yeah, Ozzy just like. You are really as dumb as you look, Nobi. You know that.
Yeah, where's your Dream Master?
You think that the quarry are going to allow you to rule over them? Once they've taken over, you'll be tossed aside as the pawn that you've been this entire time.
If Nobi was a different character, this might be like a time to roll to convince him, because I think you're right. I don't think the Dreaming Dark's like, we can't wait to serve this sheep, but I think he's just too far gone.
Oh, no. Yeah, Ozzy's not expecting this to change Nobi.
You have to say it, knowing that there's no convincing the cop that is just like, you know, ready to be a fascist or die.
So it's my turn to absolutely roll Nobi, right?
Hell yeah.
I choose to cast level 5 Blight.
Now, this thing has higher stats and new legendary resistances. We love to see it. What? How is your con lower than the other? Fuck you. Everon, you stupid bitch. What the fuck?
Look, it's harder to keep yourself constitute when you are nothing but pincers and biceps.
I just love this line. Like, oh yeah, here comes my big fucking final boss. What the fuck? Your stats are worse than this. What the hell are you doing?
I mean, it's armor class to go up, but the Constitution didn't. It's just a weird thing. Anyway, that's a fail. That's a 6. I'm going to have to burn another. I can't get blighted out. That's such a strong spell.
34.
So 17 damage.
Wait,
so you
why?
shoot out,
Legendary resistance.
because I used one of my legendary resistance.
Again?
Yeah, he died and came back, so I'm guessing he's got all 3 of them back again.
So at the end of your turn, Slime, I need you to make a charisma saving throw 16 to avoid possession. So the 14 from the last quarry.
But I'm not charismatic. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Yo, ugh. Feels really gross, bro. Don't ever do that again.
You don't like the baby boy?
Oh my god, no.
I dated a man
This
who did
is the
that
real
once.
final boss fight.
Oz is going to burn a reaction. Mari, roll a d6 and add that to the results.
Yeah, I can give a bardic inspiration.
You don't have to. I can just die. It's fine.
No.
Guess I'll die.
No. I refuse.
Add a d6. Give me another d6.
Okay. Hey.
Okay, once again, this spell would have been devastating, this ability, but everyone, the power of friendship through. Can you paint me the picture of these eyes start swirling around Slime, trying to take over Slime, and what do Ozzy and Kat do to force it out?
You guys give me the thumbs up, and I hear this like, "Don't you forget about me? Don't you?"
It's quite explicit at this point that Kat's bardic inspiration comes from food, but Kat doesn't have any snacks prepared, and instead says,
Think about mutton chops.
Wow.
Everyone's getting a little bit more pro eating. I like that.
All right.
Aze draws and projects out a card that projects a constellation of Neelith before Slime.
Do it for her. Simpsons JPEG.
You got to do it for the little autistic squid. You got to do it for the little squid baby.
Ooh, Slime really sees that, and they're like, "Oh my god, revenge! Absolutely."
All right, the floating red eyes are dispersed now back into the wind, and we're back at Basil.
It's gonna have to be that blight again.
This is your last spell slot, huh?
Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm gonna do something that's gonna, pressure to use another resistance.
That's a botch. I have to use my second. Motherfucker.
37?
All right, so half is you know what the number is. 18.
18? Yeah.
18.
Good old Schlateen.
Wow, Austin, you said it so quickly with confidence. Your ability to do mental math is really envious.
At the end of your turn, legendary action, the Dream Master tries to snatch you up with its 4 claws. That's gonna hit 27.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
And you take 8 damage, and you must make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 16, or fall prone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for making it wisdom. I'm a pretty wise unicorn. 15?
Nope. It needs to be 16.
No. See, I realized as I was saying it, it's like, why am I building up that this was a good roll for me? The dice aren't gonna be nice. So what do I take, sorry? What happens?
You only take 8 damage, but the 4 claws grab onto you, and flowing through them is just the psychic energy that just starts projecting nightmares into your mind. You just start seeing horrifying scenes of carnage and violence. You see Aze being pulled apart by Quarry. I mean, Cat being snapped in half by the claws.
Okay, well I'm looking at these nightmares going, I've had worse.
Whoa, wow, Basil's cool.
Basil's immune to being afraid. This is unpleasant, but it's fine. I'm good.
It's now Nobi's turn. Nobi is now kind of floating off the ground, just gonna zoom at Cat at full speed and just slam into you like a bullet. 15.
well, that hits.
All right. Well, you are going to take half because you're in a rage, and this is bludgeoning damage. You take 6. Oh, I didn't roll for Squelcher. Squelcher obviously is gonna 18. Yes! Squelcher, perfect.
Squelcher just punches his butt.
Yeah. Sculpture 5 damage, just punches Nobi full force in the cheek.
Oh god, I'm getting like big Prinny vibes, honestly, from this guy. Just waddles up, just like boop.
Basil, you are prone on the ground, so the Dream Master gets advantage as it attempts to tear your 4 limbs off with its 4 claws, because Nobi thinks the village is saved if you are killed.
Me?
23 and 17.
Okay, both of those are gonna hit. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm gonna pop both of my uses of Forged Body to reduce damage on both of these.
All right. So I guess I'll do it twice here. Or, yeah, whatever. It's fine. No. Okay, that's 28, so it's going to be 7 damage if you half it twice.
Yeah. There were 2 attacks coming at me, right?
Yeah, I messed up the roll. It's 28, you halved it twice.
Yeah, cool. Yes, that's 7 damage. Cool. Okay, I'm glad I saved it for when I did. That was a useful time.
Yeah, you're on the ground. It's 4 giant, like, razor-sharp lobster claws grab, or they're almost like scorpion claws, the way they're angled on the Dream Master specifically. Grabs each of your limbs and starts pulling in different directions, but you're just, like, made of iron and wire, and you don't come apart as easily as I was hoping. Aze, your turn.
As an action, Aze will just... Since Aze did not take damage, the Lunar Interjection is still active. And Aze has control of it now, so he's just going to yank it directly onto Nobi. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, hell yeah.
10, that's going to fail. I'm going to not burn my 3rd. I need to make sure you don't do something worse.
Holy shit, that was a terrible roll. So I rolled 5d10, and I only got 18 damage out of that, but it's 18 radiant damage.
I was I'm surprised 5d10. I thought you'd block that.
I rolled a 1, a 4, a 3, a 4, and a 6. So it's just like it's just not great damage there. But yeah, that is what Aze does. That as a bonus action, Aze will use Aze is going to shift. Well, no. Aze's aware that Basil's not doing great, so he's going to do a slightly unoptimal move here and throw out a heal on Basil real quick without boosting it otherwise.
Thank you. It was kind of needed.
Basil recovers 12 hit points as the healing word is used. The cycle's leaf is used on.
You don't want to know how close I was to not being in a great spot. Thank you.
At the end of your turn, Aze, legendary action to attack Basil again on the ground. 18.
That's going hit.
Oh my god, a botched roll on the damage though. Only 5.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Basil's fine. Everyone just fucking wants my character dead. It's fine. My unicorn's gonna be okay. Be great.
Okay, +2 to these as I attack Nobi again. I suppose if I was resistant to his bludgeoning cannonball attack, I guess, it's like he kind of hits me but bounces off me, and I'm able to like, I think before he like flies too far off, I'm trying to grab at him and like clawing him. So that's 28.
Oh jeez.
And 11. Oh shit, that one's fucked.
Yeah, 28 hits.
Okay. And this is +5, right? So this is 13 damage.
All right, and at the end of your turn, legendary action, I need you to make a 16 charisma save to not be possessed.
Oh, Christ. Oh, no. 19. Oh, yes.
Oh, that would have been so brutal.
Oh, my God.
This possession shit is really really stress-inducing, Austin. It's great.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this.
While you're thinking, here comes the absolute boy. Crit!
Give him something, dude. Give him something. Make him, like, jump on a tail or something. Cool.
If Squelcher kills Nobi,
Can we oh, come on.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, that's in their D4 as well.
What if
8
Squelcher?
damage.
What if Squelcher gets possessed?
I really want Squelcher to win. I'm so tempted to just say like, Nobi still has hit points, but he's just so demoralized by Squelcher, he gives up.
On this move, Squelcher pokes him in both eyes.
Oh my god.
Squelcher only has one thought in their mind, and it's about the abomination that they've been guarding.
Austin, I have something that might be conceivable for Squelcher. Could Squelcher... Oh no, the party hat exploded. I was going to say if the party hat was still there, can Squelcher knock off the party hat?
No, there's no more party hat, unfortunately.
All right, I want to do poison spray. 3d6, 3d12.
A 9, that's a failure.
Mm-hmm. You fool. 16.
All right, 16 damage to Nobi as you spray poison.
Can that damage his fur just for humiliation purposes?
I don't know.
I want his coat to fall off so he just looks like stupid.
I just want to embarrass him. I just want him to look like shit for the party, you know?
Having just had Nobi try and tear them apart literal limb from limb, after discovering that they've murdered multiple people in town and are willing to do it again probably, Basil's gonna cast Mental Prison. Let's get an intelligence saving throw.
All right, yeah, roll or read a mental prison to the audience. This is your Mystic Arcanum, or Arcanum, a thing warlocks get to do.
Yeah, so, you attempt to bind a creature with an illusory cell that only it perceives. If it fails an intelligence saving throw, the target takes 5d10 psychic damage. If it saves, it takes 5d10 psychic damage. That's pretty decent damage anyway. If it fails the save, it takes that psychic damage, and then it believes it is trapped in a dangerous space. It might think it's surrounded by fire or floating razors, or it is trapped in a cage it can't. It's scared to escape. That'll do it damage if it tries.
22.
Well, it's still gonna do 5d10 damage. I was really hoping I could get you to burn a legendary resistance with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's still 29 damage that you didn't legendary resistance. I'll take the win there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to deal with the moral implications because I failed to do it, so it's fine.
It's fine, yes.
Yeah, no torture occurred. It's fine.
Well, that's an interesting spell because it doesn't do half damage on a success, huh?
Yeah, it does full damage. It just doesn't put them in the cage where if the benefit if the thing succeeds is you can't, if you try and leave the cage, you'll take another 10d10.
That's fascinating.
So there is guaranteed big damage.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's successful, you either have them trapped or they take big damage for trying to leave. It's a real neat spell in that I don't have to use the spell slot for it, and I'm basically guaranteed at least 5d10 damage.
All right, so you your horn glows, and the Dream Master, you actually, because it's trying to pump nightmares into you while it's stabbing you with its claws, you start doing it back to it, and it, it's trying to imagine it's in a dangerous place, but it's the Dream Master right there in its name, and it's able to take control over the images you're putting in its mind and shatter them. It's Nobi's turn. Nobi headbutts Cat again.
Before you do that, you're starting your turn in the lunar interjection.
Oh, Christ.
So roll me that saving throw.
Oh, balls. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. 13, that's a failure.
Mm-hmm. So that is an extra 29 radiant damage.
What the fuck?
Because every time you start your turn in there or enter it for the first time, you make the saving throw.
That's brutal. Nobi headbutts Cat with a 13, or was it, what did I roll? 14.
14. Yeah, that hits.
11 damage as Nobi hits you in the snoot again. Nobi says, "We were a team!" Bap! Hits you in the snout.
Oh, God. Fuck this. God damn it.
You don't say anything back?
Cat growls back. For now.
All right. In the background, Basil, your failure to mentally imprison the Dream Master means it's going to attack you again. 24 and 23.
I mean, it was trying to attack me anyway. Apparently murdering me is the key to everything this season. Both those are gonna hit.
Uh-huh.
I'm not feeling great about my chances to survive this. Please get some real bad rolls.
I mean, so yeah, the consequence of not giving the governorship to Voya is that your character is on the chopping block, but it also works because you were the one who was leading the charge against Voya. So it's like this, it's a really interesting turn of events.
Look, I'm going to put it this way. Not only do I think that Basil would still do it again knowing where this is, if Basil does die here, I think that they'll feel like they did the right thing and that they helped.
I love that you said that right before I pushed the damage button. Here we go.
Yeah.
19.
Basil has no health. Is Basil unconscious or is Basil dead? How does Basil work?
You are dying.
Yes. Okay, Basil is dying. Cool, we're in that fun zone.
I love the fun zone.
I was like, I don't know if Basil has different rules. Basil came out of a forehead. I don't know how that works.
Paint me the picture, because you're going to take a permanent injury here. This is the climactic battle, so...
You got a cool tail.
The whole way through this, the description of, like, the attempts to damage Basil have been about trying to pull in 4 directions with those big pincers.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of Basil's legs comes off.
Oh my god!
Look, we're right at the end of the fucking season. Basil's losing a leg.
Yeah, I mean, this is a callback to like episode 3 when the genius went to the dump and Shoko took a knife and I think cut the genius's hand off to show that people touched by the machine kind of can just come apart. So
yeah,
it's a payoff to Chris's fucking gremlin shit.
Look, it's not unprecedented in this season. Basil's losing a leg.
All right. So is it just oil, not blood, or how much biology is going on here?
I think that it is oil, but it's sort of it's behaving the way that blood would. I think you've got oil sort of spurting out a bit. You've got wires. There's some sparks going on. I think as soon as you're under the skin, it's like we instantly just go machine, huh?
Aze sees Basil getting like dismembered by this quarry, and there's like that. There's a shock in his eyes, and it's just, don't you fucking touch my kiddo like that. And shifts his starry form from the manipulator to the cycle, and burns his 1 6th level spell slot for the spell that normally is just called Heal, but I'm flavoring as the Cycle's Conjunction, which the flavor for it is that this formation of the cycle sort of projects outward and falls around Basil, and a starry form of Applewhite appears to rest a hand upon Basil and pet them, healing Basil for 70.
Ooh.
Plus 4, so 84 hit points.
That'll do literally perfectly. That is exactly from negative number to, I'm back up at exactly full, huh?
Feel free to workshop with me here. My mind is imagining the wires and the, technology and stuff coming out of the stump and kind of forming a new, almost like prosthetic leg, as opposed to it just being back to perfect.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I think that whatever reforms is a lot more rigid and a lot more functional. Like, I don't think that Basil's going to be trotting on this anytime soon. Like, it's not bending in the middle so much. Three legs that are going to bend at the middle and one that's a little bit more rigid. But there's the wire leg now.
Yeah. I like to think of like Basil hearing like a whisper of Applewhite saying like, oh, you're not going to do much good working if you're just taking a nap here, are you? come on, get up. It's time to keep working. You know, as the leg is sort of formed out from where the stump is.
5 more minutes, Dad.
Also, the lunar interjection is still running because that does not break concentration. Just letting you know, Austin.
So strategically, if this was a video game I was trying to win, I should have knocked you out of concentration as fast as possible. But Nobi, brain of a sheep, is just trying to kill Basil with all focus and is not thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna attack again. It's that thing that I do.
You're very good at it. Do it.
That's a 14. Does that hit?
Does not.
And that's a 21.
Does.
And I hit for 15 slashing damage. I slash 15 points out of that boy.
All right, it's a good, strong hit. And we're at Slime and Squelcher.
I'm trying to not eat Nobi. Really doing my best.
A little nibble probably won't hurt.
Basil, can I just have a nibble? A nibble of Nobi. Is everyone cool? Just a few...
Look, as long as you leave enough that we can have a conversation about what the end result, what we should do, cool. Just like, a lot of cats attacks involve biting. I'm sure a little bit of a bite will be fine.
Alright, level 4, vampiric touch. Just a quick bite.
I mean, look, Slime, yeah, I know I said have a small bite. I think you're probably going to take a slightly bigger one.
You botched, so I'm going to use possession on you again. DC 16 charisma.
Uh-oh. That's not going to happen, man. I have a -1 on charisma.
I believe in you.
18!
Hell yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Slime puts up both hands and gives them the middle finger with their aggregor hands.
Look, this thing can't possess you. You've got to take a slightly bigger bite.
Here comes the absolute boy once again. 22! He simply does not miss!
Squelcher's batting 1,000, Austin. He's batting 1,000.
Oh, fuck. 6 damage
Squelcher's
again.
the real hero. It's a crit one. It's a crit.
Absolute king shit. We love Squelcher. Basil, your leg has kind of grown back, and Nobi says, "You should have stayed dead. You're dooming the village."
Blum, 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 blum. You really just like to kill people, huh? You're way too fucking into it, huh? I know I'd rather live in a place with someone who, tried to find solutions that weren't just kill everyone they didn't like. Too bad you killed the people like that, from what I hear.
I guess I'll just have to take all your legs then.
Like, we were at the point where as a warlock I've used all my cool tricks, so I guess we're doing Eldritch Blast.
Everyone loves the Danny DeVito clip I put in.
So stop blasting.
10's probably not going to hit. 15, 11. Do any of them hit?
None of those hit. The Dream Master just bats the blast out of the air with his big claws.
Sorry, I'm not used to the new leg. It's a little difficult to get the balance for the recoil.
At the end of your turn, legendary action, the Dream Master is going to take a swing at Oze to try to turn off that gosh forsaken lunar interjection. 16.
That will hit.
11.
All right. Let me put down the damage, and let's do the concentration check. Oze botches, and so the spell dissipates as before Nobi's turn comes up, just in time.
Just in time. Nobi's turn, with the lunar interjection fizzling out, he smiles a big smile and says, "That was close, but justice wins the day!" And tries to headbutt Cat into unconsciousness. 20.
Well, you know that hits.
13.
Oh my god, I've only got 5 hit points left.
And then the Dream Master is once again going to go to work on Basil. You have too many legs for its taste. 15 and a botch.
I mean, the 15's going to hit. The botch, surprisingly, not going to work. I know botches are famous for their ability to do good hits, but
Here's what I'm gonna do. You take 9 damage, and I'm gonna say with the botch that it also takes 9 damage as it like slams a claw down onto your leg, and you like thrust your head up and stab it with your horn.
oh hell yeah! It's almost like all of my Eldritch Blasts didn't miss.
All right, Aze.
Aze is going to try to distract some things. First things first, bonus action to cast the Cycle's Leaf, or Healing Word, on Cat. So she's going to receive 17 plus 8 healings. That's 25 hit points are
Oh my goodness.
restored to Cat for the bonus action. As an action, Aze will then follow up using Starry Whip and just fucking smack Nobi with that whip, you know? Unfortunately, a 12 will miss, but, you know, the stars collapse against one of the horns of Nobi and just sort of falls off weakly. And that's Aze's turn.
Yeah, it's hard to whip in this storm, as, you know, it's just all your attacks are getting blown in the wind. Cat, your face is like being reduced to a pulp by Nobi's skull, and then it snaps all back into place from the healing magic, and it's your turn.
Like a Looney Tunes. Yeah, okay. First attack. 22. 24.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh, it's getting close. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Here it
Plus
comes.
5s to this.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. Only 12. And then 21.
Ooh, it's so
33
close.
damage totally.
Oh my god, it's so close. Okay, should I roll? It's Slime / Sculpture's turn. Should I roll for Squelcher to see?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Squelcher.
Oh my god.
Squelcher. Oh my god. Come on, Squelch.
18! 18!
Yes!
Oh my
You
god.
never missed the entire encounter.
How much damage would Squelcher need to do to win this?
3.
Here we go. Squelcher, 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 squelcher. No. The Squelcher trips. Squelcher trips, but still causes damage.
I've closed roll 20. Someone paint me a picture and end the episode.
Okay.
Squelcher, like the absolute badass that they are, just out of nowhere, just forgot they were even in the fight, steps out from a shadow, and just sort of falls very quickly face first. Like, you know Luigi's side B in Smash, where you sort of launch yourself like sideways quite forcefully? It's that. It hits him, just knocks him right down, because you know what? Nobi really underestimates people they think are weak.
That's true.
Completely overlooked Squelcher's amazing abilities. Yeah, you always talking about who's strong enough to defend the flock. Your judgment's a little off, I think.
Kat says to Nobi,
Why do people like you think that we have to punish those who do wrong, Nobi? It's because people like you will only respond to consequences.
Kat slashes out Nobi's throat.
I was following the pack, all swallowed in their coats, with scars of red tied round their throats, to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and